The first use case you think about blockchain is payments, right? So that's the first thing you want to do is show that you can secure a payment mechanism, just like Visa, MasterCard, but much more secure, without middlemen, take away the fees, offers economies of scale. So the more people use it, the cheaper it gets. The way we view the future of value in the long term, 3 to 5 to 10 years, we view layer one blockchains will essentially become like the new republics. These will be the new mechanisms where all the value is going to proliferate to. In the future, there'll be the layer one blockchain, there will be the mining market, there'll be the dApps, and there'll be tokens. So the lower you get in the stack, the lower risk you have, but the lower rewards. The highest risk reward will be on the layer one blockchain, because that's where all the value will flow up. But it's highest value, highest risk. We view layer one blockchains, which is Bitcoin, Syscoin, Ethereum, as court systems. They need to be combative to the external forces that we don't control, even in the software world. In the real world, like inflation, hyperinflation, wars, these systems need to be secure from that. And this is why we view Bitcoin as the gold standard for security and decentralization. What else does the world need? What else does the world cherish when you have something like Bitcoin? How can we extend that to something else where we can take advantage to build real world utility? This is where Ethereum comes in. For me, Ethereum is a gold standard for flexibility or general computation. We're trying to stick to the gold standards we know the world's going to cherish and develop on, and we put those two concepts together. And this is what Syscoin is.
What's up, people? Hotep Jesus. We are back.
Hotep.
If you're not familiar with who I am,
that Hotep Jesus do. That Hotep, that Hotep, that Hotep, that Hotep Jesus do.
If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. This is the race to 100K subscribers to make my mama proud. Shout out to our sponsor of our channel, Syscoin. Syscoin is the best of Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you're a developer looking to develop on the blockchain, this is one of the most advanced technology, flexible technology that exists as far as blockchain is concerned. Go to hotepjesus.com. Hit the Syscoin icon. Take your form. You can sign up right there. Fill out the form to see if you're eligible to start developing Syscoin technology. Also, if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, go to hotepjesus.com. You'll see right in the first panel there's going to be a little box. Type in your email address. You keep up with Hotep Jesus and all of the I'm involved with. Go to hotepjesus.com. New website has officially been launched. So go ahead and get on my email list. Just in case you don't hear from me on social media, etc., you know where to find me. Without further, let's dive into today's conversation. It's funny that, hold on, let me just. Funny that this news popped up today. Last week, I had a comedian and entertainer, Chingo Bling, on the platform. Shout out to Chingo Bling. We had a very wonderful conversation. Politics, illegal immigration, more race relations. Specifically, we had talk on race relations between the Hispanic community and the Black community. A very warm discussion as far as that was concerned. And I had some choice opinions, statements regarding how brown people feel about Black people. And then this pops up today. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to read some of the article. We're going to play some of the audio clips. And I think I only played like maybe 2 audio clips earlier. I didn't listen to all of them, frankly. No surprise to me. Let's dive right into it. This here, Council President Martinez, DA gas F that guy. He's with the blacks. Oh my. Oh my. What's gas? Gas. George Gascon. Oh, this is the person. Democrat. Got beef with this here. What's going on out there? Let's see. Okay, so it says here in leaked audio, LA City Council, Nury Martinez, CEO Kevin Young discuss. Wait, what? Audio clip? 1, 2. Hold on. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2. Cutting in and out. Oh boy. Hmm. Look. 1, 2. Am I good now? Yeah? We're good? Sure? Am I clipping? Testing 1, 2. Am I clipping? Tell me, people. Am I clipping? Is Hotep Jesus clipping now? Or do I sound good? Hit 2 in the chat if I'm good. Hit 2 in the chat if I'm good. Is it clipping? Is it clipping? Is it clipping? Response. Oh. Um. Sure. Positive. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Still good? Just want to make sure we're good. Are we good? Are we good? Mm. Mm. 34. Okay. All right. I think we're good. All right. So I'll start over. So last week I spoke to Chingo Bling, and we had a conversation about the relationship between Hispanic and black folks. It was a great conversation. Great conversation. And I think we got some honest takes from him. Adjust my volume. Then we got some honest takes from him and open and warm. So go check that interview out with Chingo Bling. He's a comedian out of Houston, Texas. And we had a good conversation. Great interview. I got more interviews coming soon. And I basically told him, like, there's a problem with the relationship between brown people and black people. Facts. And, you know, the Democrats like to group us in with all the other groups. And we'll see a little bit later how the ancient Hoteps have felt. So apparently this Martinez lady has a problem with this district attorney Gascon. Says, F that guy, he's with the blacks. Not exactly sure. Is the audio still low? Is it? All right, watch this. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me just restart the program. One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. All right, sounds good. All right, we're back. Some people saying it's not good. Some people are saying it's good. I think it's good. All right. Mercury must be Gatorade. All right, let's continue. People are saying it's let's this is a developing story. It will be updated as appropriate. Earlier this month, an anonymous Reddit account posted several shocking audio recordings. The recordings seem to contain the voices of Council President Nury Martinez, Council members Kevin De Leon, Gil Cedillo, and LA Labor Federation President Ron Herrera, discussing a wide range of topics of great public interest and being incredibly racist while doing so. This is doc-la.com. Says the account and those files have since been deleted. Oh, really? Okay. Cedillo, Herrera, Martinez, and De Leon did not respond to requests for comment. Let's hit it.
All the, folks like with us going, he did call me. He wants to have breakfast with me.
What's taking him so long?
I haven't. I just said, hey, we need to talk.
Gil supported him from the.
All right, don't worry, I got you. So you'll start seeing him line up.
He's with the blacks.
Isaac was the first.
He's with the blacks. He's with the blacks. Guess he's talking about this white DA, George Bascom. And I've said for a while that it's quite natural for groups to practice nepotism. It's quite natural. People are going to group up together. You'll see it with students at universities, schools, corporate America. People just naturally group up. The Italians, the blacks, Hispanics, the Asians are going to group with the Asians. I'd love to explain what that not so much of a phenomenon is, but I haven't time to quite study that. But it seems quite natural. Let's so like she's saying he's with the blacks, basically saying he ain't with us. He ain't helping us out. We're worried about Hispanic people. We're not concerned about black people. And so far I'm not offended. Let's see what else we got here.
Whatever the kid's name is, I'm like, it's like the oddest thing. It's like black and brown on this float, and then there's this white guy with this little black kid who's misbehaved. Este niño has they're not even, they're not doing. The kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him. Parece changuito. And I'm just like, oh my God.
So it says here Martinez says of the adopted black son of Councilmember Mike Bonin. Pause. Parece, what'd she say? Chichito?
Whatever the kid's name is, I'm like, oh my God.
Changuito.
Control him. Parece changuito. And I'm just oh my God.
Why is Changuito censored? Changuito. English translation. Is this a slur? Is this a slur? Let's see all right, let's go to Google Translate. Let's go to Google Translate. Let's see what happens. Let's type in, let's change it to Spanish. Okay. I'm going to type it monkey. See what the word. Oh.
mono, mona,
Mono and mana, depending on gender. So far, monkey gender. So what is changuito? Let's see. Let's type in changuito. Drug cartel monkey dubbed Alcanga. Yeah, I see Chango here. Yeah, I see Chango. Let's go back to me. Means little monkey. I guess I guess there's different dialects. Right? So I guess in their dialect, it could mean all right, whatever. Let's continue. So she called him little monkey. As everybody knows, that's supposed to be offensive when referring to black folks as monkeys. History, Mexican slang. Yeah. Okay. So this is got you. So yeah, calling black people monkeys is supposed to be offensive and racist, and I guess this is her being. Let's continue. This kid needs a beat down. Oh my! Let me take him around the corner. I'll bring him. Oh boy, a little bit of corporal punishment.
They're raising him like a little white kid, which I was like, this.
They're raising him like a little white kid. I mean, how else is a white person supposed to raise a black kid? I mean, can a white person raise a black kid to be black? They're white. I guess if they've hung out around enough black folks and they're culturally minute, something like that. I don't know. But let's continue.
This kid needs a beat down. Like, let me.
I know some black folks that's raising kids white. But let's
take him around the corner and then I'll bring him back.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes? Ven para
It's a
acá.
pinch. Something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually the fourth black.
So anyways, getting back to redistricting.
Yeah.
So far I'm not offended. I'm just not offended. You know, I think I'm not offended because this is just not a shock to me. Real fast, let's see. Is Nury Martinez? Let's see. I pulled up Nury Martinez here. I want to see what political party she's from. It says here Nury Martinez. Let me make sure you guys. Okay. It says here, Nury Martinez, American politician, Los Council, District. The 6th District, a member of the Democratic Party. Okay. Part of the Democratic Party. Interesting. This is Democrats here. Hispanic Democrat. Alex Hatch. What up, Alex? He says, I'm offended at the idea that I'll need. I can understand. 25 blacks are shouting.
Yeah, that's called Cape Town.
Yeah,
I see a lot of little short, dark people.
Yeah, puro Oaxacan. Puro Oaxacan Koreans. Not even like Kevin, little ones.
I was like, no, I don't know where these
Indians.
people are from. I was like, I don't know what village they came, how they got here, but
And then they're wearing shoes.
So one,
feels.
I get what we have to do, right? Just massage to create districts that benefit you all,
Yep.
right, and the future.
Yep.
But we got to figure out Mark's seat too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Now,
that
but it's
benefits you
different.
three.
Is if the African Americans look at this, now that he might or may not be suspended, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think that he should be, but anyhow, if he goes away.
You mean resign, not suspended?
No, here's.
You're right, I think, yeah, there is a difference.
If I may.
If he resigns, hold on, if he resigns and the African Americans look at this as a hostile takeover because he's gone, we'll have to figure that shit out, because politically they're gonna come after us.
Yeah, but can I say something right now? And this is what I call the ¿cómo se llama this guy? The movie, the Wizard of Oz effect.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by the Wizard of Oz effect is when you're at the side of the curtain, it's like this big voice.
An
It sounds
illusion.
big.
An illusion.
And it sounds like there's thousands of that. And then when you actually pull the curtain, is that you see the little Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You know what?
I've never watched the movie.
It's the same thing.
All right.
It's real simple. You got 100 people,
I think
right?
it's the
52 of
old
them are
school
Mexicanos.
folks.
I feel
I
pretty
think
good
that-
about it.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about my chances of beating your ass.
25 are black. And the 25 blacks are shouting. And the
But they
52
shout like there were 250.
Yeah.
When there's 100 of us, they're
Right.
like, it sounds like
So,
there's 10 of us.
but that,
What? What? All right. So the Wizard of Oz effect is something I didn't know that was a term, but I've used that phrase in regards to the left, where they appear a lot bigger. Pull the curtain back, the numbers are actually a lot smaller. Then they like to see this perception of a majority. It's really not a majority. Their influence, they're able to amplify their voices because the left control social media and mainstream media. So I can totally see that. Now, I don't know what they're talking about. It says here, Martinez, De Leon, Theo, and Ferrer discuss black political power in Los Angeles, and what De Leon termed the Wizard of Oz effect. Martinez says he sees a lot of short, dark people in K-Town. The Dio jokes about the height of Oxygen Korean. Martinez says he doesn't know what village they are from, as Tanfeo reference child to sex, Ito, monkey, tribe, any little. Okay. So thank you, Brody. Appreciate you. Translation. And I'm not familiar with LA politics. Let's continue. So far, no harm has been done personally to me. I do think that it's very illustrative how black people. Let's see. The one who scored us Heather Cut. Let's see.
if somebody slides in, right, temporary or however you do it, right, that person has to support the three of you. Has to support the three of you. And Danny,
You know who wants to run for that seat?
Reggie.
No, Isidore.
I ain't gonna support Reggie. Reggie was over there with Karen.
Who was on there?
After he was fucking sweating his ass off.
The one who will support us is Heather Hutt.
Yes.
I like Heather Hutt.
Yeah.
Heather's
Let's find out. Chat. Looks like audio cutting out again. Really? 1, 2. How does my audio sound? Oh wow. Yeah, definitely. Let me restart. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2, 2. Yeah. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 2 1 2. All right. I took off the noise gate. The noise gate was acting up. I just took it off. It's got to be the new version of OBS. Here, let me take the noise gate off here. I think it's off. Okay, we should be good now. All right, so yeah, maybe the new version of OBS doesn't need a noise gate. All right, we should be good now. I see it's working fine now. All right. I'm so sorry for the. Yeah, I just took the gate off. New version of OBS probably. Interesting. All right, let's go. So, where were we? Heather Hutt. Yeah, Heather Hutt. Let's actually. I want to look into more who this Heather Hutt is. Woman. American politician currently serving as council member. All right, what's her? All right, Democrat. Okay. So they prefer her. Why do they prefer her? Why do they prefer Heather Hutt? Council member, 10th District. She served under Kamala Harris. Oh. Okay, was named Regional Deputy Director for then Senator Kamala Harris. Oh, so they're in the same clan, it appears. Interesting. Okay, let's go back. You're saying that's the one to put in a blender and chop up, right? Whoa, uh-oh, we're getting a little violent here.
So there's certain people who don't merit like us rescuing them. Your comadre, right?
I'm not arguing with you about that.
I know who you know.
¿Quién es tu comadre? Who's your comadre?
You know, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't merit, right?
But this
She's not
man-
our ally. She's not going to help us. Her district is not a district we can count on.
You're saying that's the one to put in the blender and chop up left or right?
Well, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a euphemism, metaphor talk. I'm not going to look too into that. Martinez Cedillo and De Leon come to agree on aggressively gerrymandering Councilmember Nithya Raman. Let's look up her. Let's see what she's about. Nithya Raman. I figured she was an Indian woman. Yeah. Graduate of Harvard, urban planning from MIT. She's got the credentials. And they want to get rid of her. This is like brown on brown crime. Just brown people attacking brown people. So far, what I believe happened here is, and going back to the fact that whoever posted this on Reddit deleted it, it seems like there was another party here in the meeting who maybe was not a part of the conversation, could be security, could be somebody else, intern or whatever. And they probably had their phone, and these people always talk like this, and they're like, well, I'm going to catch them. And they hit record on their cell phone. That's my guess. This doesn't sound like a hot mic, because the hot mic isn't bringing in high quality audio. It sounds like somebody recorded this in their cell phone, went to Reddit and posted it and deleted, probably because this individuals in this meeting narrowed down like who this leaker possibly could be, and maybe they were threatened or intimidated. I don't know, or maybe they just decided to take it down because it got a little too hot. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. Sounds like somebody in a meeting hit record on their cell phone to expose these people. Let's continue. Go get the airport from his fucking little brother, that little bitch Bonin. What the fuck?
So getting back to Marquise, I told Danny, if you want to cut a deal, and if you want to make like fucking boss moves, I would go after the airport. He goes, fuck, I love that idea. I said, tell Marquise,
So
go take it from his friend.
Don't go
after, leave him alone. Go get the airport from his fucking little brother, that little bitch Bonnet.
How many for black people?
I goes, what is with Bonnet? And I said, Bonnet thinks he's fucking black. That guy don't think he's black. I go, he thinks he's black. I told her the same thing.
thinks he's black. Let's play that back.
How many for black people?
I go, what is with Barney? And I said, Barney thinks he's fucking black. That guy don't think he's black. I go, he thinks he's black. I told her the same thing.
All right, now we gotta look up this Bonin guy. I feel weird saying his name. I'm gonna call him Bonin, because Bonin just sounds salacious. What's his first name? Who's this Bonin cat? Let's see. Who's this Bonin guy? Bonin. Who is this guy? Anybody know his first name? Is Bonin the? No, that was Gascon. Who's Bonin? Bonin's district. All right, let's see here. Mike Bonin. Oh, okay, Mike Bonin. This is the guy that has the adopted son, right? This is him. Yeah. Okay. This is Mike Bonin. Okay. Okay, this is him. So they're saying this white guy thinks he's black. Okay. Martinez suggests that in redistricting, she's a Dem. Councilmember Harris Dawson should take the airport from Bonin's district. She questions why Bonin thinks he's black, and De Leon says his kid is. Okay. I get it. He's a diva. I understand that. Okay, let's hit play.
I'm satisfied. We are satisfied with it. I'm telling you, that with Polanco, that's the K 2.5 and amended. We're good with that. We can live with that. We think it's generous to your guy, Mitch, but we're okay.
Why do you
with
keep
that.
saying my guy?
Well, he's my guy.
But
And your guy, Tehran's
He's my
guy.
guy.
Where's your
aren't you
protest?
not cool with him anymore? I needed a fucking
I've always
placeholder. I
worked
don't
with
fucking
him.
need anybody to do my job.
I've always
Trust
worked
me,
with
all
him.
these guys, you know,
I'm good with, look at
no
how,
offense to both of you, but
Look at
it's
how
not,
hard I
I
worked.
do all the work.
look how hard I worked to not let this be a compare
But I
contrast to
thought
Echo Park.
you guys were okay. You sound like you guys are okay, like fuck man, you had me fooled. I'm like, oh yes, we call it the bromance of COVID bromance. They go on COVID, yeah, they're like complimenting each other and
That's
Mr.
good work.
this and Mr. that, and I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't get the memo.
I distinguish the work and
And
the
now we're back to
people.
like battling, so I don't understand.
I'm not battling him. Look at how much I fought to keep him out of this.
He's a teamster. I gotta support him.
Yeah.
Family.
Who?
Mitch.
Is it Teamster?
Yeah. That's why this guy that's running from HRE, I already told Susan.
Sometimes
Hey,
you
it's
gotta
you
bring
against us,
people a little
baby.
closer to try to control them a little bit, like sort of like calm the hell down. I get it. He's a diva. I understand that. You know,
I'm good with, look at
no
how,
offense to both of you, but
Look at
it's
how
not,
hard I
I
worked.
do all the work.
look how hard I
So-
worked to not let this be a compare
But I
contrast to
thought
Echo Park.
you guys were okay. You sound
This woman's very loquacious. She's very loquacious. She likes to talk a lot. She's talking over people. Cedillo says he's happy with redistricting map K 2.5 and speaks of Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell as Martinez's guy. And Martinez expresses surprise that Cedillo is not as close with O'Farrell anymore after their COVID bromance. Calls O'Farrell a diva. F that dude, Martinez on Councilmember Block.
You know, all this,
Bob Blumen.
I mean, my goal in life is to get the three of you elected, and, you know, I'm just focused on that. I mean, we're like the little Latino caucus of our, you know, our own.
City.
Yeah. And we have to find, you know,
Oh, they calling him a diva because he's rainbow?
new folks to bring in. Blumenfield was in here the other day, right? He goes, well, we're trying to create another Latino. You know, why do we have to do that? I go, well, fuck. The way I see it, all of the seats are Latino.
what did you say?
He goes, oh, you got a point there.
Fuck that.
You know, what do we say? 52% of the population is Latino.
Yeah, His mentors are the reason we're so fucking gerrymandered in the valley.
Right.
In Birmingham, also.
Yo, politics is wild in California. Well, I'm sure it's probably wild in many places. Imagine what they're saying in New York and other places. So here's Bob Blumenfield, Los Angeles. This is 3rd Council District. Shout out to France. What up, man? It's just a dirty game. It's a real dirty game. This is a dirty game. Politics is a very dirty game. Ron Herrera tells Cedillo de Leon and Martinez that they are a little Latino caucus of their own, and that his only goal is to get the 3 of them elected. When Herrera says he spoke with CD3 Councilmember Blumenfield, he says he told him he sees all of LA City Council seats as Latino. Martinez says, F that dude about Blumenfield. I mean, it's a lot of Hispanic people in California. A lot. Obviously, because of close proximity to South America. So I don't see a lie there. Update. After publishing, Councilmember Martinez issued a statement. Oh, did she? I'm going to take a look at that. To the LA Times, saying that in a moment of intense frustration and anger, I let the situation get the best of me. I hold myself accountable for these comments. For that, I'm sorry. De Leon provided a statement to the LA Times saying that he regrets appearing to condone and even contribute to certain insensitive comments made about a colleague and his family in private. I reached out to that person. Cedillo told the LA Times that he does not remember the conversation. Okay. All right, Cedillo, you got convenient amnesia. I could dig it. Bonin and husband Sean Arian. Okay, we have to see who this Sean guy is. Let's see. Does he have a wiki page? Sean Arian. So, wait, hold on a second. Wait a second. So we got Sean Arian and Mike Bonin. Oh! Okay, so we have a little bit of the rainbow love here. I think that's what we're seeing, right? This is a little bit of rainbow love. Okay. And all right, so, and let's go to adopted and see what pops up. Okay, here's the little black boy. And is this them? Is that Bonin and his partner? Okay, so that's Bonin right there. Okay, Mike Bonin and Sean Arian. Now, hey, give me a sound quality from 1 to 5. 5 being the best quality on my mic, 1 being a low quality. Somebody give me a sound check here on the sound. I gotta figure this thing out today. Especially before my interview with Sebastian Gorka tomorrow. Now, many people in the black community have been talking about this phenomenon of rainbow people adopting brown kids, black kids. Many people. What is up with that? Why do they feel the need to adopt black? Sound is clear, volume is low. Okay. I'll try to get to the bottom of this. Hold on a second. Let's see here. 1 2 1 2 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that louder now? Is that louder now? I know it's louder in my headphones. Louder, 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 louder. Okay. I think I may have fixed it. The volume at least. Maybe there's another OBS update. I never should have updated OBS. I should have just kept the old version. So yeah, all right, so let's go back. So Biden and husband Sean Arian issued a statement calling for the resignations of Herrera, Martinez, and De Leon, and called the meeting a coordinated effort to weaken black representation in Los Angeles. Now that does sound plausible. It does sound like that. Correction, an earlier version of this story miscaptioned a statement by Councilmember Nury Martinez due to the quality of audio has been corrected from Cale Chiquito to Parece Chaqueta, whatever that was, the little monkey thing. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jay. All right, let's see his statements here. Where is that? I just opened that link. Was that this? No, that wasn't this. Let's pull that up right here. Oh, this was a statement via Twitter. CD6 Nori, okay, has issued a statement apologizing for the comments in a moment of intense frustration. The context of this conversation was concern over the redistricting process and concern about the potential negative impact it might have on communities of color. My work speaks for itself. I've worked hard to lead this city through its most difficult time. I'll hold on a second. Let's see what De Leon says. De Leon's comments. What does he say? There were comments made in the context of the meeting that were wholly inappropriate, and I regret appearing to condone and even contribute to a certain insensitive comments made about a colleague and his family in private. I reached out to that colleague personally. On that day, I fell short of expectations we set for our leaders, and I will hold myself to a higher standard. I mean, we're just talking about people being unprofessional here. And being their true selves. You know, this is, you know, you got to judge people off what they say when there's no cameras around, there's no microphones around. Who are you when you're alone? Who are you when there's nobody around? What does your self-speak sound like? What does your third party speak sound like? How do you speak about people in your mind? How do you speak about people when you're with your friends and family? I've been around black friends who have had not really negative things to say about my white colleagues, my white homies, but sort of, I would just say a little bit on the negative side of things. And these is some of my blackest homies that I highly respect. And I said, nah, you know, they're good people, you know, like, you know, I'm not joining in on the whole like hate white people type thing. And I'm very conscious about my self-speak and how I speak about others publicly, how I speak about others in my mind. I'm very conscious about this stuff, mostly because you know, I just, you know, this quest to strive for perfection, I guess we can say. But I think we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to want better for ourselves. We would have to have higher standards for ourselves. And I don't think people set high standards for themselves. I really don't. I think people, you know, I said this in Nerd Nash's community on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see here. Communities, Gem Factory. Oh God, it's a lot of people talking in here. I'm not gonna find it. Is there a way to find just my stuff? Oh, you can't search in communities, huh? Oh, that's unfortunate. But basically to the effect that you have to be honest with yourself and point out character flaws within yourself, and be honest and say, hey, this is a character flaw, and I think that's the first step to change. And then once you have that character flaw identified, you have to work to resolve it and try to fix it. And everyone has a certain amount of character flaws, and it's a process to sort of fix them. And many of them, well, I would say all of them, are a product of the id or the ego. But a lot of people don't want to admit to themselves that their character flaws are flaws, or they say, well, this is how I am, and that's just how I'm going to be. And really that is the decline of the ego, the decline of your growth. Your growth is basically stagnated as a person because you just don't want to get better. And sometimes it takes a little while for us to admit to ourselves, okay, hey, this is a character flaw. So I'll tell you guys a recent character flaw I've had in just with personal family. That Hotep's been told you moment where you've given advice to family in the past, and they've either taken it or haven't taken it. And then after the fact, after you're proven right, this need to say, hey, didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you that? So for a while I had not, I think I had recognized it. It just hadn't surfaced fully to my conscious mind. So recently I was like, wait, this is a character flaw. And I caught myself in regards to, I forget what topic it was. I was just talking to family, and I was just like, and I was able to hold back in that moment. I didn't say it. I just allowed that person to come to their realization and left it at that. And we just continued with the conversation. I just let them speak. But this need to say, hey, I told you so. What is it? Really, what does it fulfill? What does it make you feel better for 2.5 seconds? And then what do you do with that feeling? Who does that serve? It doesn't serve anybody. It also leaves a negative impression on people, because now, in the future, they're like, I don't want to talk about this because all he's going to say is, hi, I told you so. So you actually turn people off from having communication with you. So I try to be mindful of these character flaws. And that's the thing when you start dealing with politicians. Who are they really? Who are they when the mic is turned off? How do they speak about people? How do they treat people when nobody's looking? How do they think people? Well, obviously you can't read minds, at least not yet. Elon hasn't put the chip in our brains yet to be able to read our minds, but it's something that, I guess you have to work on yourself. They have to work on themselves. But these people really told on themselves. They really, and I don't think they're fit for office, to be honest with you. I don't think they're fit for office. I fully think they should resign. I think they should resign. They're not fit to lead people. It has nothing to do with their racist comments. It has nothing to do with them saying, hey, I want to beat the little kid, or he's a little monkey, or, the blacks, or whatever all that stuff is. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that 3 council members were in a meeting that they thought was private and still thought it was okay to speak like this, to speak unprofessionally, to speak not of the soul, to speak not of consciousness, higher consciousness, I should say. It's just very low. It's very immature. Humans are capable of much better, much better. And there are better people in this world. And I think there's a certain personality type. I think there's two types of personality types. Going based upon my own psychoanalysis of personality types and archetypes. And I think we need two types of people to run one seat. See, I don't think one seat could be one person. I think it needs to be a duo, and it needs to be two different personality types. And they need to be polar, right? So I think one personality type would be my personality type. And I think another personality type would be like a Chad or a Taylor. These are people who are very, very, they have a certain innocence about them, right? They have a certain innocence about them, and not much, I would say, war tendencies. However, you push them, I think you're gonna see some war tendencies if you push them too far. I call them amiable people, and these are people who are just generally nice, right? These are people, you know, how you just run into people and just like, damn, that person's just so nice. Person's just so nice, right? I'm not one of those people. I'm not a generally nice person. I'm a cordial person, but when you cross me, I'm not going, my personality type is not vengeful. It's not, I'm not looking to get back at you. I'm not going to hold grudges. I sort of just take a note of it and then distance myself. But I'm not nice. I'm not a nice person. I'm a cordial person, meaning that I'm nice to others because I demand a certain level of professionalism from myself. It's a conscious effort. Whereas with Chad and Taylor, it's an unconscious effort. Now, it's not to say that my conscious effort is because I'm naturally evil, because I'm not. Like, I'm naturally a nice person. It's just that I have the ability to be cold. Let's put it like that. I have the ability to be cold. And I think it's much harder for amiable people to be cold. Like, I'm not evil, I'm not vindictive, but I can be cold really fast. I can have zero emotions about you really fast. And that's much different than these personality types of people. Now, this third personality type of people are these types of people who are naturally cold. Like, they're just naturally rude and crass, right? So I guess I'm more like a hybrid where, and people who follow astrology, I'm a Libra, so there's some sort of balance. So I have this high level of consciousness where I'm consciously amiable and consciously know when to be cold and turning that on and turning that off, turning on being cordial and turning that off. Whereas the cold people, they don't turn it off. Can they turn it off? Absolutely. I think people can ascend to a higher level of consciousness through admitting that you have a problem. Like, these people literally have a problem. I would never go into a meeting, and anybody who's hung out with me, if you were at Hotep Con, think about the type of conversations that we've had. Anybody that's ever been in a private conversation with me knows, generally, I don't speak bad about people. I try to find, sometimes people bait me into these conversations about people like Candace Owens, right? And like, I did an interview with Milo, and he's like, hey, Candace Owens, I know you got beef with her. No, I don't have beef with her. I don't have any ill feelings towards people, because I understand that human beings have this right to free will. Candace Owens has the right to live her life how she sees fit. And as I'm trying to raise my consciousness, I try not to judge her decisions. I try to rationalize them, right? So as we study psychology, we know we are nothing but children, grown children, trying to correct our childhood, trying to correct the trauma from our childhood. And if you've ever heard Candace speak about her childhood, It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest. I think there was maybe some substance abuse involving her parents or something like that. She didn't grow up rich. Da 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 da. And so when I see that, I have a level of sympathy towards her. And how she operates, I think may be a rejection of the community that she grew up around, and she grew to dislike that community. And I think that's why she's so angry with black people, is because she grew up in that environment and she sees the negative in it, and she sees how it affected her and how she grew up poor, et cetera, et cetera. So now this adult version of her, this is how she's dealing with that trauma. I believe she's rejecting it. So I'm not going to sit up here and say, I hate Candace Owens and this, that, and the third. No, Candace Owens is an adult who's trying to work through her childhood trauma. We all are. I'm working through childhood trauma. As you know, I used to be Ali Shakur, and I was very racist, I guess the term was. I had this disdain for white people. You've heard me talk about this before. And as you rise in consciousness and try to become a better person, Kanye West has made some statements this week, and people rush to judge him, right? And I'm just not in the business of judging people. I'm in the business of rationalizing. Okay, where's this coming from, right? Where's this going? And also, a lot of times, if it doesn't affect me, like I'm just like, for example, it's really hard for me to do these reaction videos because, like, I have to ask people, what should I do a video about today? Because I don't care about any of this stuff. Like I said, I'm a naturally, agnostic person. I have the ability to be cold. The things I want to talk about don't get clicks, right? So I'm trying to find that balance, between the two, right? Like, I want to talk about economics and I want to talk about finance, but I have, I'm usually agnostic. I'm usually ambivalent when it comes to many of these topics. Like this lady, I don't care about her feelings towards black people. I don't care about, racist people. It doesn't affect me. So therefore I don't care about it. I don't think we should even be paying it much attention. That was my issue with the White Lives Matter shirt last week. I'm like, all right, so he put White Lives Matter on the back of the shirt and now the entire nation has erupted. And I was thinking to myself, like, why? Cash App, $ Hotep Jesus. And I'm just thinking, like, why should we care? Why do we care? Like, why is this so big? Why is what Kanye West does so impactful? I saw it, I laughed, I chuckled, and I immediately go, personally, I don't care one way or another. I'm not affected by this one way or another. But I know that the entire nation is going to erupt because the programming has thoroughly been designed. I think somebody in the chat called me a narcissist. I might be a narcissist. I would not deny that. As an only child with a half brother and a half sister who are much older than me, I could have narcissistic tendencies. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm very honest about my flaws, and I try to tackle them. Kanye some people say Kanye's a narcissist. He might be. But I think all humans operate off of a level of self-interest at some level. Somebody says epigenetic trauma is deeply rooted and unconsciously exposes your true you. Yeah. Carmen says, same with me. The stuff I love, people aren't ready for yet. Yeah. Shout out to Jay Pylon. Thank you for the super chat. He said, bless up, Hotep, to the people. Always respect. Thanks, bro. Yeah. For example, if it was up to me, I'd be operating a spiritual channel. This channel would be about spirituality, the subconscious mind, and consciousness, and how to make better human beings. Nobody's going to click on that. Nobody's going to click on it. And if I were a single man with no kids and no team, I probably wouldn't have that type of channel. But I got people that depend on me. You know, the team members of Hotep Nation, they you know, I don't work for me. You know, people say, oh, you're self-employed, you work for yourself. Now, I technically don't work for myself. I work for the Hotep Nation community. I'm an employee of Hotep Nation. I have to do what is in the best interest of Hotep Nation. And right now, that's about getting eyes and ears on the movement, getting eyes and ears so more people discover Uncle Hotep, so more people discover Canon Hotep, Chad, so we can elevate Taylor. And, you know, like Taylor, he's our video guy. Like, I want to see this guy get financially compensated for all the work he's done for our crew. Amber, she put together our homeschooling program. You know, so like I'm still a slave to the numbers. I'm still a slave to the numbers at some point. You know, it just is what it is. Now, also, I have like multiple personality order. Some people might call it multiple personality disorder. And then some people call me a chameleon, right? I call it just the ability to adapt. But what some people they'll see Hotep Jesus here, right? And then they'll see Hotep Jesus in a business meeting, and then they'll see Hotep Jesus on Hotep's Been Told You, and they'll go, well, which one is you? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why I have to pick and choose as to which one is me. They're all me. It's just that I'm matching the vibe. I'm matching the environment. I have this natural, unconscious desire to adapt. A lot of it comes down to whoever I'm interfacing with, right? Whoever I'm interfacing with, I match their vibe, no matter who it is. If it's a woman, this is a man, it's a black man, it's a white man, whoever it is, once I sort of get a feed, I try to match their frequency. And I do this unconsciously. It's not a conscious effort. It's just how I am. I don't know how I got this way, but it's a desire to make the person I'm talking to comfortable. I don't know why. I don't like when people are uncomfortable around me. It makes me uncomfortable. You know, sometimes I'll, like I was in the airport earlier this year, and I was talking to this, white couple, and they had their kids there, and we got to talking, and I could just sense that they wanted to get something off their chest. So I said to them, hey, I'm a Trump guy. Because I could just tell that's what they really wanted to talk about. So I lifted that off their back, right? And as soon as I said that, I could kind of see their body language just relax. Like, oh, wow, we could talk to this guy. And they started venting. We lost friends. We live in a small community in South Jersey. I think they were from Point Pleasant. They're like, people, we have a block party every year, and, people turned on us, and family and friends, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, the media's been pretty effective. I was sitting on a plane, and I had this white woman sitting next to me, and we got to talking, and this was last year, I believe, and I could tell she was holding back. You can tell when people are holding back in a conversation. Actually, I can. And I said, yeah, I'm a Trump guy. And she's like, I voted for Trump too. Like, she had to whisper it. It's just like, damn, like, is it really like that? Then I remember I was at the gym, and there's this black guy walked in, and, he always, every time I came to him, he said, what's up, young blood? What up, young blood? What's good, bro? What's good, bro? Older black guy. And, he was angry at Trump running. This was 2016, I guess. And, me, I was all in on the Trump train. And I said to him, oh, don't worry, Hillary will win. I didn't want to, argue. Why would I want to argue with him? What is the argument? What do we get out of that? What am I going to get out of having the argument with a guy at the gym? I'm trying to come work out. I'm not trying to argue with nobody at the gym. This ain't the place for that. And also another thing is the desire to give unsolicited advice. And I learned my lesson recently. over the years, I've given out less and less unsolicited advice. And I made another mistake this year. It was one of my female followers mentioned wanted to open a drop shipping store. And as far as I know, I don't think it's really worth the time. I don't think it's worth the time and money. You're better off just going to buy a Tesla and throwing it on Turo if you want some passive income. If you're going to drop $5K, $10K on a project, you might as well just drop $10K on a car and throw it into Turo and renting it out. You'll make way more money that way. And it's just passive income, right? And we had this back and forth, and I was just like, okay, she was basically just arguing why it made sense to have this drop shipping store. And then, I kind of was like, okay, we'll see, And then she got mad. She's like, oh, it seems like you're very negative. And then she blocked me. I was just like, see, that's what I get for giving out unsolicited advice. So I don't give unsolicited advice. And it's kind of hard for me because I'm empathetic. And so if I see somebody struggling, I'm like, I kind of want to be like, but I'm like, I can't give them unsolicited advice. Can't give them unsolicited advice because they're going to get mad at me and they're not going to listen anyway. So sometimes you got to watch people, let people struggle and then wait until them to come and ask and say, hey, I need help. Okay, now I can help you, et cetera, et cetera. It's really difficult. But getting back to the topic of the council members, this great divide of races, it's programming. This stuff is programming, man. The White Lives Matter response is programming. I mean, a black child is programmed from a very early age to understand that, which reminds me, I got to take a look at some tweets regarding this topic, but it's programmed to realize that white people are our enemy. That, they put us into slavery, they put us into bondage, and that's our reality, et cetera, et cetera. So that reminds me, let's go ahead and pull this tweet up. I want to show you guys this tweet right here. And this is under the thread from today's topic, right? And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so here, this is the thread, right? From knock.la. So as we come down, you'll see this very famous quote. For all my Hoteps, y'all know this face right here. This is John Henry Clark. This is one of our Hotep elders. And this is a very famous quote from one of his lectures. He says, black people have no friends. And being over 1 billion strong across the globe, you really don't need any. It's a strong statement. And basically what he's referring to is the fact that, we always say, okay, it's white people are a problem, white people are a problem, white people are a problem. And I'm like, well, you see how the Hispanic, we just showed you how the Hispanic community, some people in the Hispanic community think about us. So is it just the white man? How does the Indian community feel about us? How does the Asian community feel about us? Many different communities have choice opinions about black people across the globe. India has a caste system based upon skin color. I believe they're called Brahmins, the upper class or the higher social class is called the Brahmins, and they're of lighter skin, right? So this idea of racial segregation is not exclusive to white people. This dates back to, I want to say, like 1500 BCE or something like that. I don't know, but this idea is very old. And we had the Black Conservative debate or conference last Friday. And I heard Sonny Johnson say that this idea of race was created by the European. And I'm not in the debate. I'm not in the discussion. I'm just mediator. So I didn't want to correct or anything like that. Because technically, I how can I correct somebody unless I have all the facts? And I don't have all the facts. But I do know that I think it's a lot older than Europeans. This idea of skin color. I don't think the segregation of skin color can be attributed solely to Europeans. In fact, I think it's probably maybe the Islamic world, maybe the Arab world, right? The Arab Peninsula. I want to say they practice racism before Europe, but I don't have the answers. I can't say that for a fact. This is just an assumption based upon my general understanding of history. But I think what people really want to hear is the fact that, well, these are Democrats. These are Democrats. These are the people who are supposed to be kind to black folk, who are supposed to care about black folk. And this is the choice remarks they make. They're supposed to be kind to the LGBT community. And these are the type of comments they make, which is eye-opening. It's very revealing. If you ever watch Hotep's Been Told You, we talk about this stuff all the time. We tell you, like, yo, these people are putting on a front. There's a very serious front happening here. Brody says Hispanics are white. Nury Martinez resigned? Good. She should. Where is that? Let me see if we can pull that story up. Did she resign? Oh, wow. Is this true? Is this real? I trust you, Steph Colonel. Oh, you posted the link right there. Oh, thank you, sir. Let's pull this up. Oh, there it is. Boom. I'm resigning as president of Los Angeles City Council. Wow. That was 15 minutes ago. About 15 minutes ago, she must be watching the stream. She's like, you know what? Hotep Jesus is absolutely right. I take responsibility for what I said, and there are no excuses for those comments. I'm so sorry. I sincerely apologize to the people I hurt with my words, to my colleagues, their families, especially Mike, Sean, and your son. As a mother, I know better, and I am sorry. I am truly ashamed. I know this is a result of my own actions. I'm sorry for your entire family and for putting you through this. As someone who believes deeply in the empowerment of communities of color, I recognize my comments undercut that goal. Yeah, they did. Going forward, reconciliation will be my priority. I have already reached out to many of my black colleagues and other black leaders to express my regret in order for us to heal. I ask for forgiveness from my colleagues and from the residents of the city that I love so much. In the end, it is not my apologies that matter most. It will be actions I take from this day forward. I hope that you will give me the opportunity to make amends. Therefore, effective immediately, I'm resigning as president of the Los Angeles City Council. As she should. Didn't I just say that? I said that, like, again, there I go with my ego saying I told you so. Silly me. But that is the appropriate response. I'm actually proud of her for resigning. That's the correct move. You have to resign. You're not fit for office. And you're not fit for office not because you said something about LGBT people, not because you said something bad about black people, but because you don't have a well-developed personality for political leadership. Because you think it's okay to talk about people behind their back like that. If you're not going to say it to their face, don't say it at all. And that's one thing about me. I'm not saying nothing about nobody that I won't say to their face. Promise you. Promise you that. I try to be kind in my thought, try to be kind in my speech. But she's not fit for office. None of them are. All three of them need to resign. Who else was in that? Who else is in that meeting? Whoever else is in that meeting should also resign. You gotta go. I don't care if you're libertarian, Republican, Democrat. If this is how you talk about people behind their backs, you're not fit for office. You don't have the right personality type. And going back to my previous statement, I believe a seat needs to be held. There needs to be a severe psychoanalysis. You know, when I think about government and how I'd like to, and I'm writing a book on government soon. Well, I've already started it, but I'm still doing research and finding all types of interesting things as I battle with feudalism. Or I'm so far I'm leaning towards theocratic feudalism. But anyway, I think there needs to be a balance in personality types. I think there needs to be a psychoanalysis, and it needs to be a dual seat. One seat needs to be two different personality types. One of them being personality type similar to myself, and another one similar to Chad and Taylor, the amiable people, the people who would not harm a flea, right? You need the ability to be cold, and you need the natural ability to be warm. Not the unconscious, not the unconscious crassness that we see from people like this. And we joke around a lot. We joke around a lot on Hotep's Been Told You. I say a lot of wild stuff on Hotep's Been Told You. In the name of comedy, though. In the name of comedy. You know, we're saying those things that people, you know, too scared to say, but, you know, you throw it in a joke. And there's a lot of nuance to it, a lot of nuance to comedy. But I think it needs to be a dual seat, one personality type to balance out the other personality type, and then find a resolution in between. I don't think it can be held by one person. I think that people like Chad and Taylor are not fit for leadership as a solo, and I think that people with my personality type are not fit for leadership as a solo. But together, I think that as they merge their personality types, they come to very balanced conclusions and ways to handle certain situations. And I think that's why Hotep Nation has ran so well, because we have those personality types here, whereas I'm thinking a certain way, and then they come with a completely different, you know, viewpoint, whatever. But I think, you know, a lot of the stuff about me is just like, I'm very heady. Like, I'm always in my head, and I'm always analyzing things and trying to figure things out. But again, this is a flaw with our government. We, you know how like you go to Wikipedia and it says, you know, what party they're from and all this stuff. It needs to be like a personality type. What is it? Myers-Briggs, whatever. Or maybe some other system to figure out somebody's personality type. But we need personality types next to everybody's name. I think that would be super dope. Personality types. And then, you know, when they're running their campaign ads, it needs to say, you know, here's my personality type. When they're in office, here's my personality type. Forget your gender. What's your personality type? Forget your race. What's your personality type? Oh, man. I'm wild-tempered. What does that mean? What does wild-tempered mean? Tell me what that means. I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. I like hearing people's opinions about me. It helps balance me out, because you can't see yourself always, right? You don't see all of your idiosyncrasies and your character flaws. What does wild-tempered mean? Tell me. Please tell me. Tell me. I'm not finding anything on Google for that. I checked Brave and Google. I don't see what that is. He said, this is why in Japan they're so big on blood types. Really? Didn't know that. That's actually very interesting. You put up with wild shit. Oh. Yes. Yeah. I remember one time I was in the mortgage industry, and I was a very naive kid. I think I was like 21, 22 at the time. And this gentleman I met out in the public, and I think at a basketball game, and I told him I was a mortgage broker, and he told me he was into real estate, and I'm like, oh, it's match made in heaven. And he had some investment properties, and it was a black guy, and I'm a black guy, right? And I'm working for some white folks. This is a corporation company ran by some white folks, and so basically what happens is I submit the application, I submit the appraisal, and then the appraisal has to go to the underwriter. The underwriter has to have their people, look at the appraisal and decide, is this a legitimate value for this property? Now, hindsight is 2020. At the time, I had no idea what I was doing, but this guy was basically finagling the appraisal, right? He was doing something that I guess maybe is unethical or illegal. I don't know. But, his appraiser, obviously, he was sliding him a little something underneath the table to make these appraisals come out so he can, do a refinance and pull some cash out of a property that technically doesn't exist there. And it went to the underwriter and it got rejected. Now, to me, I want to say this loan was worth about maybe $5,000. And he had several properties. So you're talking about the potential to lose. If this deal doesn't go through, I had the potential to lose about $15,000. And in our office was our, I guess we can call him coordinator. Basically you submit your paperwork to him and he figures out, what interest rate they should get, et cetera, et cetera. Pre-qualified guy. He used to pre-qual loans. And I knew how to pre-qual loans. I could pre-qual loans in my head at the time. Studying rate sheets, et cetera, et cetera. And I did something that I had no idea, but it was very suspicious. But it was my personality type. So I'm sitting next to him. He's sitting to my right. And he says, yeah, your loan got rejected. And I go, okay. All right. It is what it is. I'll go back and fix it. Now, I guess what happens normally with people is, especially in the mortgage business, you freak out. You're like, oh my God, I'm losing $15,000. Wait, what? Da, 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 da. But I was very calm. But I was raised by a military dad who put me under a lot of pressure. So not much really affects me. I have the ability to just sit in hot water, not literally, but I can sit in hot water and not feel anything because I'm just so analytical. And as it turns out, the company suspected that I knew this was a fraudulent deal, and I was working with this guy who they obviously knew was black, and I was black, and they thought that I was in cahoots with him, and I was trying to do illegal work. And it sort of tarnished my brand with the company because they thought I was pushing stuff through. But the two problems was, one, I was ignorant as shit. I didn't know what the fuck I didn't know it was some illegal shit going on. I just was pre-qualing loans. I was just putting the loan through. I didn't know anything about that. I don't know what a fraudulent issue is. And I got another mortgage story I'll tell you about too. And also because I was so calm that they thought that I knew this was a fraudulent deal and I was trying to push it through. So from then on, they always kind of just looked at me with the side eye. And I didn't understand it until I kind of got older, and hindsight is 2020. And then, I remember in 2008 when the mortgage crisis hit, and this kind of messed my life up. I was trying to pre-qual some loans, and I remember I called Lee Duncan over at, I believe the name of the mortgage company was called Delta. And I was sending in applications to get pre-qualified for loans for my client. And hindsight 2020, he was doing some shady shit. And then Lee was like, yo, it's over. And I'm like, what? He said, it's over. And I'm like, yo, I just need you to pre-qual the loans. I just need you to give me a rate. Just give me a rate. I understand he might not have, the credit or whatever, but I just need you to pre-qual the loan. And he said, it's over. And then he hung up the phone. And then, I had a bunch of loans. At that point, I was assistant branch manager at a mortgage company. And I couldn't get anything qualified for 2 days straight. And I was scratching my head like, yo, what's going on? Again, ignorant kid, don't know what's going on. But basically the mortgage crisis hit and the banks were shutting down. Like, I was there in the mortgage company as they were shutting down and didn't realize it. This is how ignorant of a kid I was. I think at this point I was like maybe 23, 24, 25. And I'm just like, why won't somebody just pre-qual the loan? I'm calling banks. Nobody's picking up the phone. I'm calling Argent. Argent wasn't picking up the phone. Capital, whatever. Nobody's picking up the phone. It's completely ignorant. And that was a wild time in my life because I had spent about 5 years of my life as a mortgage broker. I thought this was my career for at least the next 10, 20 years. And then I was back on the unemployment line with a skill that was now irrelevant. And the money wasn't the same. The money's still not the same in the mortgage industry. It's not the same as what it used to be. We used to be able to slam, 2 points in the front, 2 points in the back, or 4 in the front, 5 in the back, and really make some serious money. In fact, I was actually terrible at selling mortgages because I was the guy that had a heart. I remember the Wall Street guys would come and they'd sit next to us and they'd be banging somebody over the head with 4 in the front, 2 in the back with a 700 credit score. Then I got a lady with a 620 score and I'm just like, I'll just take 1 in the front and 1 in the back. I really don't want to make your closing costs too high. This is the type of guy I was when I should have been a cutthroat capitalist and getting my coin. I just don't have that type of personality type to just dick people over. In fact, the first few times I dick people over, it was like ignorance. I had no idea I was dicking people over. I'm like, wait, is this what I'm doing? Oh shit. Hindsight 2020, it was a very shady business we were involved in. They had us selling 2% mortgages, reverse mortgages, interest rate deferment, just shit that just was gonna fuck people over. I remember this old lady I sold a mortgage to in hindsight 2020, and I'm just like, I told her I could lower her payment, but really she probably had 10 years left on the mortgage, and I extended it 30 years and put her in an adjustable rate when she had a fixed rate. And who knows what happened, when the mortgage crisis hit. Did this lady lose her house? So, a lot of this stuff comes back to, you don't know what you don't know, ignorance and personality types. And I think that's the problem with politicians. David Zientara, thank you, bro. I don't think people know enough about politics to pick the right politician. The more I study, the more I realize I don't know even what a government should look like. I know that the one we have now is flawed. I know that the one that we have now is basically a socialist communist takeover. But what does a good one look, or what does a near perfect one look like? So, dealing with the one we have now, how do you even pick the right politician? How do you pick a politician where it's all based around how much money you got? How do you pick a good politician when it's all based around a popularity contest, name recognition? How do you pick a politician when it's a common practice in politics to kick in the back of your opponent, to slam your opponent? Marketing, that's not what we do. In marketing, I'm sure you can. There's types of marketing where you diss your opponent. We saw that with Pusha T and McDonald's and Arby's, and I thought that was quite entertaining. But what exactly do you do? If I ran, I'd act like my opponent wasn't there. But I'm sure some campaign manager would be like, no, this is best practices in politics. You have to bash them. And I'd have some pushback. So who's going to be my campaign manager if I ran for politics? He'd have to be in line with me because I'm not mentioning the other guy. I'm going to stick to here's what I want to do, right? Here's my platform. And if they like my platform, then they like my platform. If they don't, then I just lose. But then it's always it comes back to money. So it's just how do you even pick a good politician? And then it's then you have to dive into, well, how much studies have you done on previous policies and their effects on people? Has there been enough time passed to see the ramifications of those policies and their effects? And then what is your background with economics? How, are you a socialist when it comes to economics? Are you following Keynesian economics? Are you coming from Austrian school of economics? Where are you as far as that's concerned, because when we start talking about Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, minimum wage, all these things have real life effects on the population. We talk about monetary policy. We talk about printing money, inflation, et cetera, et cetera. Like, how much do people really know about this stuff? So when you have politicians running, the vacation. Where were people on the vacation prior to the last 2 years? When Hoteps are running around telling my community, yo, these vacations aren't cool. And this is before the Myrna vacation came out. We were telling them, yo, these vacations ain't really it. You should probably go check out the deposition of Stanley Plotkin. And they're like, oh, what are you, an anti-vacationer? And then, like, you fast forward through the last 2 years, and now everybody's anti-vacationer. And it's like, well, there was a level of ignorance that you had, so you could have voted for somebody who was pro-vacationer, and then now you're not, but you put that person in. So it's like, it's like personality types we got to install, and then we have to destroy our own ignorance. That's basically the gist of what I'm trying to say here. We need personality type analysis of people running for office, and then we need to destroy our own ignorance. But how do you even convince people to destroy their own ignorance? And everybody just wants entertainment, right? Everybody, they don't want the intellectual content. Everybody wants everything spoon-fed to them. And then you got, the misinformation people saying what you're saying is misinformation. So then there's all these confusion. Like, who is right then? Is it this guy that's right? Is that guy that's right? So then there's this trust. You have to trust your own self, trust your own ability to think. And a lot of people don't trust their own ability to think, and they need somebody else to think for them. And I think that's another story for another day. Yeah, I thank y'all for tuning in. That was just, wild rant in regards to these Democratic politicians showing us exactly who they are. Hopefully the audio. Did the audio get better? Type. Give me a audio check, 1 through 5. 5 being the best quality now, 1 being poor quality. How has my audio quality been since the last adjustment? I want to make sure it's okay, because I had a noise gate on here just to remove any background noise and et cetera, et cetera. Steph Colonel says it's 5. Who will be trusted entity to conduct the personality test, though? Can we trust that data? Yes, Jay, that's my other conundrum. That is my other conundrum. You see how hard this stuff is? Do you see how hard this stuff is? How do you even trust that? Jeff Curtis, appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Jeff Curtis. I don't know. That's a question for a team of Hotep experts. I only trust Hoteps. Everybody else is, can't really trust you. Anyway, I'm out of here. Y'all be safe.